When I think about the questions, what makes you who you are, I cannot help but see it through the lens of what we're studying in class: the mind, the body problem, personal identity, free will, and determinism. For me, mind and body problem sparks questions about whether my identity is tied to my physical body or something immaterial, like my mind or consciousness. Personal identity makes me wonder what it is to keep me me over time, whether it's my memories, my body, or something deeper. And free will and determinism challenged me to consider whether the choices I make are truly my own or if they're shaped by factors beyond my control. Each of these ideas pushed me to reflect what defines me as a person, and together they provide a framework to explore what it really means to be me. The mind body problems raises the questions doubting my self awareness, whether if I am defined by my physical body or my mind or some sort of creation that involves both. They call dualism, offering a variety of perspective on the mind and distinct entities. I read and noticed one of his famous quotes from a video stating out the mind is the indivisible, but the body is divisible. From this view, I understood the conscious mind as inhabitable form of physical vessel with the nature of who I am residing to the whole realm of thought and reflection. On the other hand, physicalism rejects this dualist framework, asserting that all aspects of human existence, including conscious thought, subjective experience, and even the sense of itself, are fundamentally grounded in the physical processes. According to this view, the mind is not an immaterial substance but an emergent product of the brain's biological activity shaped by the neural mechanisms, bodily state, and environmental interactions. In this paradigm, identity is inseparable from the material world, conditions on the same natural laws of the that govern all physical phenomena. What makes me me isn't something. It isn't some fixed things. It's what I put out into the world through my own special mix of talents, skills, and a way of thinking. It is the things only I can do, the unique value I bring, and how I choose to spend my time differently than anyone else would. I become who I am in those moments when I'm creating something or taking actions. That's how I leave my one of a kind mark on the world. This isn't about being better than others, it's about owning my particular thread in life's big messy tapestry. And it's just as much as how I see things, the way I had noticed details others miss, ideas that grab me, what I find beautiful, the changes I want to make, or shows that who I am inside. My perspective makes my world comes alive in a way of nobody else experienced quite the same. It's in the back and forth between in my inner world and how I interact with everything outside that I keep discovering who I am, always changing and always more to uncover. Therefore, my point of view has developed in a personal identity significantly especially after week three of introduction of personal identity. Those lessons reshape and reinforce my understanding of the essence of who I am. My perspective of free will and determinism underwent a substantial shift during week four of our course. The discussions of reading complicated my earlier, more simplistic views, reviewing the nuanced interplay between autonomy and external influences that define this philosophical debate. Personal identity. I've explored on Jones' laws and theories of psychological continuity, which against that personal identity is something defined by the way of how physical forms, but represented by the persistence of humans' core of memory and consciousness over time. Furthermore, delving into Derek Parfit's concept of identity as a collection also enhance the overlapping psychological connections that rather than my fixed and unchanging self. To that, both Parfit and Locke used their thought to experiment and illuminate their arguments and really got them stuck in my mind. Locke's Prince and the Kobler case doubted the theory of the switching body would still make me who I am if I'm being exposed to something else. Similar to this point, Pavitt's teleportation case explored the ideas of singular, unchanging selves, focusing instead of whether the psychological connection is matter rather than the physical continuity. During week four, we examined the key philosophical perspectives on free will and determinism, beginning with Arthur Schopenhauer. Provocatives claim that while humans can act on their will, they cannot control the desires that shape that will, a formulation that starkly captures the tensions between agency and determinism. This led us to David Hume's compatibilist framework, which reconciles free will and with determinism by redefining freedom not as the absence of causal influences, but as the capacity to act in accordance with one of our own motivations. Hume's approaches suggest that even though our choices emerge from the predetermined causes, we experience genuine freedom when our actions align with our internal designs and character. I used to think that free will as complete as a complete freedom, like my choices were made in a vacuum, totally independent of anything else. Determinism, on the other hand, seems like a fixed, unbreakable chain of cause and effect where my decisions feel free, they're actually shaped by things beneath the surface, my instincts, upbringing, even unconscious biases that I don't fully command. Then Hume's take gave me way to make sense of it all. He argued that freedom isn't about freedom of all influences, but about acting the way that truly reflect on my own wants and values, even if those wants come from somewhere beyond my control. Put together, these ideas shifted how I see things now. Free will and determinism don't feel like they're at war. Instead, they're just two sides of the same coin, both playing a role in why we act the way we do.